The next first thing on the itinerary is a speech by the chief launcher. She is expected to deliver a statement. And she is no other person than Antitida Jatanjaju. She is the chief launcher of this ceremony. She works at the she's Directress of Education at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. I have the singular honor, with your indulgence, to welcome Madam to deliver her statement.
Good evening to everybody. I'm happy for us to be having tables like these, so that, high tables like these, so that you will have women and men on the table, not tables that are filled with men. I was telling my colleagues yesterday was the final day of our education policy review, the national conference, and I was happy. I was telling the DPS that I think this should be the cover, the table should be the cover of our policy. Please support me on that. Yeah. It's important because it's important to help women. It's important to help girls. They form more than half of our population. And in any household or a compound where you have empowered women, all the children in that household will thrive. And they will even surpass their parents or their guardians that they are living with. So women are important in our lives. I'm not saying men are not. Men are. But we are the mothers. We take care of our children. And it's important that we are seen in front so that our children will serve as role models for our children. Raki, thank you. Raki is a lady that I'm working with at the office. That is at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Before I start my statement, I would just like to say a bit about Raki. Raki is a very, very disciplined lady. She knows her task. She's in an office that is busy throughout the year, but she's always up to task. And she was not there not long ago. She came, I think, less than a year ago or so. But Raki is now even part of us. Very respectful, very, very industrious. And we are happy to see women like her and Rachel and Fatima in an office that have lots of calculations. I think they know what I mean. Monitoring and evaluation, performance management, and also assessment. So, Raki, this is not a surprise. And I know more books will come. And congratulations. Good evening, everybody. All protocols respectfully observed. I had a conversation with Raki. She sent me a text and told me that I wanted your CV. And I told her the CV is not important. Let's come and prove ourselves. I think that's better. I may have all the allocates from every university in the world. If I don't prove myself, then that's nothing. So I think it's important for us to interact. That's more important, so that we'll be closer to each other. Because the small I know there are certain people that know far better than the small that I do know. So I think everybody should be respected. So I told her, that's why I told her, no. Just announce my name and then we'll move from there. All protocols respectfully observed. It is with delight and gratitude, Raki, to stand before you today as the chief launcher of the two wonderful books by Raki Jallow, a colleague at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. When she brought the books to my office, the bright light switched off, and because I'm a woman, she was with her colleague, Mr. Andrew Gomez. And when I was going through the books, I was answering to every topic to him because he was the man sitting there. And he turned to Raki and said, you see, I told you, I'll receive all the bombardments from her. But these are issues that we go through. These are issues that we go through every day. And what I normally tell my colleagues is, yes, we normally accuse men, but we women too are the cause of our own problems. Because we are the Njekes, we are the Ouijas, we are the side chicks. And, you know, and we encourage men to do whatever we want to do to us. You understand? If I, as a woman, will say, I will not go out with any married man, or I will not marry any married man, then some of our problems will be reduced. It will be solved. So, the Bright Light Studio, when I went through it, I think it chronicled Maimuna. What we normally talk about at the level of the Minister of Education is to make sure that girls go to school, stay in school, finish school with wonderful results. And this one is about child marriage. She got married at the age of 15, Maimuna. And when she was at home, she went through a lot. And going through the book, I realized that poverty, male-dominant society, power of our in-laws, especially our mother-in-laws. The married woman as the second class in the home are what women and girls go through in our homes, in our communities, and Gambia as a whole. However, there comes the power of the teacher, Ms. Cisse, who intervened at the right time and helped her through. I think it's important for us to know that the dangers associated with child marriage, such as early pregnancy, STIs, you know, due to, you know, early birth, we all know the repercussions of a young child giving birth, the STI, the obstetric fistula, you know, are some of the consequences of early marriage. But not only that, it also results in poverty. Us having many children, we all know the literature. When a girl goes to school, stay in school, finish school, it delays the marriage, it delays the childbirth, you understand? And in a compound where you have an educated woman, the health outcomes are good, the economic outcomes are good, and the education outcomes of the children that, you know, came out of that marriage too are good. So, if a child is given away for marriage early, especially with the likes of Maimuna, the low education levels will come in. The low health outcomes too will come in. And that is a vicious cycle. You give birth. The children are sick. You don't have money to take them to the hospital. The husband in the house will be maltreating you. Or he may even decide, because you have so many problems, to go and marry another wife. You know how men are. They just see themselves and nobody else. Sorry for the adversary. Yeah. Notwithstanding, Miss Cisse helped her through, and that bright light that went off came up. This is something that most of these us girls need to read, the young girls need to read and understand, because it's helped them with their life skills. It will help them cope with situations. And the other book, very interesting series of stories that talk about, that say that because I'm a woman, it talked about marriages, you know, divorce, unfaithfulness of men, envy among us women. Sometimes it happens. I will see Rachel, and I'll be very envious of Rachel, because Rachel is a step ahead of me. That happens a lot. The issue of childlessness. Sometimes I will get married, I will not be able to get a child, and all the time they will say, it's me as the woman, it's me as the woman. And sometimes, sometimes it may not even be the woman. It may be the man. You know, the issues of prostitution. And I was telling my colleague, yes, there is prostitution, but I think it's important for us to know that. And the issue of FGM, female genital mutilation, you know, culture shock when we travel outside the country. It also happens. Bullying, we bully, especially cyberbullying. And I think in the internet sometimes I look at, you know, I listen to some people who will tell you, You're telling your fellow human being to go and commit suicide. You know, those are the things. And it happened to us as women most of the time. I'm not saying it's not happening to men, but even women to their fellow women. You know, it's the issue of menstruation. We've been talking about menstruation and menstrual hygiene among us, you know, and the issue of the dropout rate. How do we help children to come back to school and finish? All these things are in the book, and it could be seen that all the above factors, there are factors that affect the education of the girl child. There are factors that affect women in society. And what I am happy about was that in every story, Raki came out with a solution, you know, and those are life skills. How do you deal with these situations? I read the book from corner to corner. In every story, there are solutions. That's why I said, those from me, we don't have anybody from curriculum department at the ministry, curriculum directorate. I think these are, well, no, he's retired. These are one of the books that should be literature books for our schools. Because in addition to them doing the literature, it will also help them in their life, get life skills, negotiation skills, being assertive, saying no and mean it, you know, mediation skills. You understand? All those things are in the book. But I think as women, it's important for us to support each other. If I see a fellow man or a colleague doing better, let's hug, let's appreciate. You understand? Yes, we make one or two mistakes. We are human. But it's important for us to appreciate each other. It's important for us to support each other. That's very important. Let's encourage each other. Let's encourage each other. We have, you know, I have friends that are in the diaspora. They come back, they do good. Give them a call. Send them a text. Even if you know, sometimes it's difficult to call, but this text is very important. You are doing good. Keep it up. I think that's very important. We in the government offices too should help our fellow women, encourage our fellow women. If our fellow women or our girls too do encounter issues, let's counsel each other. It's very important. And that confidentiality, because it's important. If somebody comes to you and talk to you, please don't go to your friend and say, "Huh, Rachel Daly mo this kera mom yala ham." She didn't tell you to go and calculate it. No, she told you. She came to you for help. Let's protect each other. And in the end, let's pray for each other. Let's pray for each other. That's very important. So, for our young ones, these are the ones being the leaders. I was happy when I see, you know, I regretted not bringing mine here. Because, yeah, I was happy when I see these beautiful children around. They are going to be the adults tomorrow, you know. So it's important for them to be in these kinds of gathering. Women and girls, I appeal, women and girls should be given more attention and support so that at the end of the day, Gambia will be an equitable society. I'm not talking about equality here. An equitable society for all to thrive. Because if the ground is level for everyone, you can see the magic that will come out of us. I urge everyone, especially women and girls, as I said earlier on, to read these two important books because they will help in improving your life skills and cope with every situation you may encounter with. Especially situation of sex and gender-based violence. That's everywhere. And reading the book will help you cope with a lot of situations. I thank you all. But before I move, thank you for the clap. I have the singular honor to launch, and I do it now, these two important books by Raki Jallow. Congratulations, Raki. And I also urge everyone before you leave today to buy at least 2 sets. I'm not saying 2 books, 2 sets to support Raki. If you can buy more, we will appreciate it. Yeah, we'll appreciate it. I'm going to buy more than 2 Raki, but I'm not going to tell you how much. Yeah, I'm going to buy more than 2. So 2 sets I'm talking about, not 2 alone. So please, that is an appeal to everyone, and I hope we will do it. So Raki, congratulations, and I wish you the very best, and I hope that other books too will follow. And please invite me to go and lunch there. Thank you.
What you've said here encompasses everything. As you were speaking, a thought ran in my mind. I asked myself, if we are in 2023, would this have happened if we were in 1923? It wouldn't have happened. But now women have realized their potentials. They have understood that the room has been provided for them, and now they are taking huge advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Men are not your competitors, but we are here for each other. And you have spoken very well that in order for our society to progress, we must help each other and see each other not only as equals, but as also partners in development. You've raised very salient points that we need to support our women and girls. The importance of a woman in the society cannot be overemphasized. You said, again, we need to rise from the negative perspective that we have regarding women. These are things that have been happening, and these are things that are still happening. But I believe with this book that you said, and I must have to repeat, that these are most read books, because these create awareness to the young girls as to what are your roles and responsibilities to make sure you also contribute your quota to national development. On that note, madam, I thank you very much for your words of wisdom.